Hi friends, myself Nandhini, Department of Computer Science SF. Today we are going to talk about timer control in VB.NET. In this video contains what is timer control, how to use and properties, methods and events. Let's start the session. Timer controller in VB.NET. The VB timer control helps in running a piece of code repeatedly at specific intervals. When you draw the control on the form, it's only visible during the design time. It's hidden during runtime. We want to execute an application after a specific amount of time, we can use the timer control. Once the timer is enabled, it generates a tick event handler to perform any defined task in its time interval property. It starts when the start of method of timer control is called, and it repeats the defined task continuously until the timer stops. Let's create a timer controller in the VB.NET Windows form by using the following steps. Step 1. Open Visual Studio and create a Windows form application. Step 2. Add two button controls to the form and name them start and stop. You may also want to change their names. The final form looks like the following images. Step 3. Now let's add a timer control to the form. Drag and drop a timer control from Visual Studio toolbox to the form. This will add a timer control, timer 1 to the form. Step 4. Now we are going to set timers property. Right click on the timer control and open the properties window. Set the interval property to 1000. The value of the interval property is in milliseconds. 1 second equal to 1000 milliseconds. Step 5. Now click the events button and add a timer event handler by double clicking on the tick property. Now timer control properties. First one is name. Name property is used to set the name of the control. Second one is enabled. The enables property is used to enable or disable the timer control. By default it is true. Then interval. An interval property is used to set or obtain the iteration interval in milliseconds to raise the timer controls elapsed, even the interval. A timer repeats the task. Fourth one is events. Events property are used to get the list of event handler that is associated with the event component. Next is events of timer control. The first one is disposed. When control or component is terminated by calling the dispose method, a dispose event occurs. Next one is elapsed. When the interval elapses in timer control, the elapsed event has occurred. Third one is tick. A tick event is used to repeat the task according to the time set in the interval property. It is the default event of a timer control that repeats the task between the start and stop methods. Last one is methods of timer control. First one is begin int. The begin int method is used to start runtime initialization of a timer control used on a form or by another component. The next one is dispose. The dispose method is used to free all resources used by the timer control or component. Third one is close. The close method is used to release the resource used by the timer control. Fourth one is start. The start method is used to begin the timer control's elapsed event by setting the enabled property to true. Next one is end int. The end int method is used to end the runtime initialization of timer control that is used on a form or by another component. Next is stop. The stop method is used to stop the timer control's elapsed event by setting enabled property to false. I hope you all enjoyed the session. Thank you.